8 minutes after 8 o'clock. It's the first Wednesday of October and the second day of the second day of October.
Yeah.
And we're going in. You know why we're going in? Because we're Island Tea.
Exactly. Although we don't have the tea, the physical tea, but yeah, we are still Island Tea, bush tea.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, geez. What? Good morning, sir. What type of tea do you have in your cup this morning?
Green tea.
Okay, I had some strong English tea bag this morning because I like my tea strong. Yes.
Black tea then.
Please. Yes, please. Good morning. To the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the regional and international diaspora. As Jamsta said, we are Island Tea. How are you doing this morning, Jamsta, and the rest of St. Kitts and Nevis?
Well, I didn't get half drowned this morning. For sure.
That's good. The sun was out, so that's a good thing.
Sun was out.
Mm-hmm.
When I went past the same spot, I was...
You reminisced.
I was having flashbacks.
Oh, boy.
I was like,
I know.
I was like, well, at least there's no rain and there's no bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And bus driver tooting me like he just did me a favor,
And maybe apologizing.
I know.
Yeah.
But still. And somebody down the road, roughly just before King Street, somebody who saw, they kind of made a comment like, I mean, he doesn't see that because there's rain. He should be driving
slow down. Yeah. Everybody that's driving, once there's rain, they should literally slow down because, I mean, we can't be splashing and wetting people. But thank God for the dryness of today. Thank God we have no rain, and
just
nobody got splashed.
Just
good morning, Jay Black.
Oh, there he is.
He was literally jogging, as he said. Yeah, it is hot. We were just chopping that up.
Yeah, and I was just about to say Jay Black on the way, and then he pops through the door.
He pops right through the door.
Yep.
So Jamsta, we have quite an exciting guest today.
We do?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I just want to make sure it was working.
Yeah, we're good.
So are you trying to say we don't have an exciting guest today?
Well, if you're talking about me because I haven't been here for a while, then sure.
Other than Jay Black, we do have the Attorney General this morning, the Honorable Garth Wilking, and he'll be on at 8:30 to 9 a.m. this morning.
Yes, 8:30.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm going to get you 8:30.
Yes, 8:30.
Okay.
It's okay. We speak dialect.
We sure do. We can transition.
Queen's English.
Yeah. We certainly can transition.
Really, but yeah.
Yeah. So how are you doing today, sir?
It's great. Just a reminder to get your vehicles licensed. If your vehicle number plate ends in a 9. Good morning.
So you saw the carnage yesterday?
The what?
The carnage, yeah. The
I don't think he lives that far. Do you live that far?
The gridlock carnage, let me put it that way.
The gridlock carnage.
Caused by the police.
Yesterday, they had an accident at Ross, then they were checking for tint and license.
Oh,
so
no.
the queue was backed up. Do you live that way?
I live this way.
Yeah, okay.
Which is west. They call it west side, but down Ross side.
Oh, so you weren't in the Ross debacle yesterday with the traffic?
Maybe not, no.
Oh, you can't.
I was either on the road too early or too late.
He was taking his helicopter yesterday, probably.
Yeah. Was either on the road too late or too early yesterday.
Okay, so he missed all of that. Okay. Yeah. So, gentlemen, what did we think about the debate last night?
Well, it was oddly agreeable and collegial, like
that's what everybody's saying.
Yeah, because it seemed, I get the impression that Vance was trying to make himself more likable.
Yeah,
and as a result,
I said that to myself last night because, and the next thing I said to myself as well, do him and the former president communicate at all?
I'm sure they do.
It doesn't look that way.
It doesn't seem so. Okay. I have to.
Gotta
trust women's intuition.
The only thing.
No, not all the time.
Not all the time, but
no, I don't subscribe.
I'll give her it this time.
The only time they had the same mentality was when they lied about women's rights. Yeah. Why is Jay looking at me like that?
I listen to him.
because I feel like
Yeah,
I feel like Vance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you probably picked up that vibe. I didn't really get that, but like I said, you gotta trust women's intuition.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to
Sometimes,
trust
yeah,
women's
sometimes,
intuition.
yeah.
Although he's not going to subscribe
So-
to that.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Don't let me get started on that. Then they're gonna call me feminist on you.
So,
Oh, Lord.
And I think because of that, he tried to be agreeable and not come across too combative and so on. You notice how many times he said, "Oh, I actually agree with Tim," and so on. The governor, you know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Both of them were agreeing with each other last night.
Yeah, they agreed with each other
But
a lot.
people were saying that Tim Walz was sticking to the script. He wasn't his organic self.
I don't agree. I thought he was. I thought he was his usual warm self, but he was also very substantive and
Yeah.
cogent in the way he put across his points. You know, and I'm thinking this is the first time I think I've seen a debate where people finished within their time, pretty much all the time.
Those ladies
So-
were controlling that.
But they
last
probably
night.
had, I'm thinking they probably had clocks, you know, the big clocks.
Yeah, they do.
like
They
that,
normally
to the
do.
back of the room.
And
Normally.
they weren't playing. They were not
Yeah,
going to be
so
called
they
out
were-
like how the other moderators were called out. Those ladies did their jobs to
Yeah.
the best of their ability last night, I think.
But Vance had to be a Republican at one point. You know how they generally like to flout the rules and think that they can talk over
Yeah.
people. He tried,
And they
tried
muted him
once or
good and
twice,
proper.
yeah, and then they muted him, yeah. You
But
know.
I heard something else last night that I'm like, what is
I
going on?
think it
with
was a draw, more or less.
Oh, the
It
win?
was-
You didn't,
Yeah.
you didn't think they win because I was looking for Vance in the spin room, you know.
Because I went to sleep pretty much after. 'Cause I was
Since his running mate was in the spin room, I was looking to see if he would have gone to the spin room as well.
You mean Trump?
Yeah.
Trump was in which spin room?
Remember, he went afterwards because he said
Oh,
he
I
had
didn't
promised
see.
some people he would have come.
CNN?
No.
Oh.
After the debate, remember
Oh,
Mr. Trump
okay.
went to the spin room, said he promised some people he
Oh,
would show
okay.
up.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Mm.
thought he would have done the same, but
Yeah, I went to
he
sleep.
didn't do that. But they said 4 years ago he called Trump a Nazi leader and said
Yeah,
a few
of
other
course.
things.
So
So
also-
how did he pick him as his running mate? He forgot what he said, and J.D. Vance forgot how he
Listen,
was.
Trump goes with the thing the last person who spoke to him, like the last maybe advisor or good friend says.
Mm.
I've heard that repeatedly from different people. Kelly, McMaster, other people.
Wow.
You know, so Bolton, all
Yeah.
you know. So
I was looking at the host last night. I know they like to say MSNBC is a bunch of
Oh, you-
Democrats.
you watched
They-
it on MSNBC?
Yes.
A bit of it because
Mhm.
I was out doing some stuff, and the host had a couple of laugh out loud moments on air, and I was like, wow, like the debate just had them laughing. I was like, wow, this isn't good at all. But they were fair with their critique when it came to Governor Walz.
Yeah.
And I hope he looks back at this, he can talk with his committee, and they can decide in future to allow him to be his organic self and not just
Well, I don't think he was
use
that.
a
I don't think that he was that far off from himself. I think that was just his slightly more buttoned up governor self, you know, because you could see.
So you don't think he was
it
prepped
got-
for it?
Yeah, he prepped, but I mean, like, being a governor running an important state like Minnesota, the governor in him came out, the administrator in him came out when he was talking about all that wonky government stuff like health and clean energy and that stuff. So that's easy to him, I think, because he is a governor
Okay, fair enough.
of a major state, you know.
And did you really
I
think
didn't even realize Medtronics. With Medtronics, they make medical equipment.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even realize they
It's
were
in his
based
state?
in
Oh, nice.
and 3M. I didn't know 3M. I thought I could have sworn 3M was in Boston or something. But
Oh,
anyway, yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
And how did you like the part where J.D. Vance, at least I get to hear this, he said Trump saved Obamacare? Or tried to save Obamacare?
Yeah, there was some like
I like how this Republican over here is quiet this morning.
There were like some 180 kind of lies. Like it's kind of like I look at you and I'll watch you and tell you, why are you wearing a white shirt, Jay Black? You know, when I could see clearly and everyone can see clearly that you're wearing a black shirt.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing Republicans do well. And someone said last night, which they found that, and even what's his name commented on it during one of his responses. He said, well, I could probably go after that and really challenge you on what you just said, because that's not true. But so someone said that they felt that they should have allowed them to challenge lies and fact check on the fly. That's an important part of the whole thing that didn't really happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's interesting is it's so interesting how Kortensia said I'm a Republican, but I find that the Republican, let's say, the
See a Republican speech right here.
well, ain't a Republican speech, but I find
just
that
teasing.
our government, or I mean, I say government in terms of like any labels or anything, but how we build our democracy is very much like what the Republicans are trying to push as well. So you have to give them some credit, which is why I find the Caribbean people are more susceptible to the Republican code format. I'm looking for the word. There's a word for this.
You mean Republican or Democrat?
No, Republican.
The Republican political philosophy?
Yes. It's a lot like ours. But because ours is such on a smaller scale, we may not notice it, but a lot of Caribbeans subscribe to what the Republicans are doing. Yeah. You see like how the Republicans trying to take certain books out of circulation that the Democrats put in there, and they're trying to push like the whole Christianity thing, and it's a lot like us. It's very much like us.
But how are you going to push the Christianity thing and then still push guns on the other hand?
We have a call. Let's take this call.
Okay.
See what's up. Okay, you will call back, I'm sure.
Tell me.
We have our own agendas here as well. We don't push Christianity, but a lot of other things can slide as well. It translates differently across different cultures. No, I'm not saying you can't. Well, you have to understand there were some principles that America was built on, and one of them was Christianity, right? At the same time, you have to understand that guns and those kind of things were means of protection back in the day, from the forefathers all the way till now. So a lot of these things would have evolved over time, right? Whatever that translates to, whatever God means to them, if God is whitewashed, it's the same. We're going on with these cars.
Don't worry, they'll call back. Callers, please call back. We look forward to your contribution every day. Continue, kind sir.
Oh, right, yeah.
Alvin Island T, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine. Interesting debate last night.
It was.
Very civil.
Very.
I think the surprised quite a number of people because I think people were expecting fireworks.
A knockdown, drag out type thing, right?
Yeah, well,
That's
yeah.
wild,
But it was a good debate, nevertheless. More substantive, I think, than most debates of that kind.
Yes.
What I found, though, if you look at what actually stood out, it was clear what both were trying to do. Well, certainly more in terms of what Vance was trying to do, make himself appear more human and sensible, and not this firebrand crazy that most people would have wanted to brand him as. He didn't come over as that. As a matter of fact, even CNN said he seemed smooth. Okay, he was able to pivot even when attacked. Okay, but what stood out, I think, were two things. One in terms of Vance was at the end when he clearly didn't want to say that he would accept the results of the election in November. He hemmed and hawed, and you could see that he was uncomfortable because he didn't want to go against Trump's position, which itself does not say clearly that they would accept the results of the election. He wouldn't say that the last that Biden won the last election either. I mean, when you have that, to me that was a seminal moment, and that should make some people think.
Give them
Or he
pause.
could fudge around every other issue that might have been thrown at them, the abortion and everything else. Because even in the abortion issue, he came out with a nice dressed up response. Okay, but he couldn't hem around that pointed question at the end. I think that hurt him. In terms of Walz, you know, before he fell into the trap that a lot of us do, we become defensive when we're caught. Okay? Instead of saying, yes, he didn't even say he lied, because that is what people would, that's the tough language that people would normally use.
But I understand.
He said he misspoke.
But I understood
Right?
what he was saying. He said he was in China the same summer, at the same time, maybe.
Yeah.
So I don't see.
Yeah, no, I understand what he was saying too, but what I'm saying is that optics are important in debates. You don't come over looking halting and so on. You come straight out and say, look, I misspoke. I got confused with the timelines or whatever, but don't let it drag on, right? That's the point. And one sure thing you don't do in a debate is give you, in a political debate, is give your opponent fodder for after. You know how many times I could imagine that you're going to have commercials with him saying, I'm a knucklehead? You're going to see that. You don't do that. Because the obvious response is, well, should a knucklehead be vice president? You know, everybody understood that he was trying to be, you know, just like Tim was, his folksy and so on, but you do not give your opponent those kinds of openings.
I'm surprised,
use against you.
but you know, I'm surprised more isn't being made of the fact that he basically made up the cat thing, eating cat.
Made up what?
Haitian. That's what he said. He said he just made it up to make a point. And I'm surprised more isn't being made of that. If a Democrat had done that, we wouldn't hear the end of it.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't hear the end of it because
Right.
Democrats control the
He
media.
said that he made it up. Yeah, you're
To
right.
to
You're
make a
absolutely
point.
right with that. You know, but again, I guess it's part of the trying to be civil. Don't attack too much. Don't come down too hard. You know, soften the tone a bit, kind of thing. Okay? And as a result of that, you get what you basically said, Jamsta. It was a drop. Okay?
Yeah, I would
In the
say.
final analysis, it's really going to come down to Trump and Harris.
Let me ask you a
One of
question.
the things I think Harris should do. You see, just like how Walz went into some details in terms of what they do for economically,
Yes.
she should look at that and have that as part of any Trump's any stump speech, so that because people can relate directly to those bread and butter issues, it directly affects them. Every speech he makes, cut this middle class thing, because they're trying that at her now. Because every time she does, she says, "I'm from the middle class," etc., etc. Okay, cut that and say exactly what you plan to do to help the middle class and other and all Americans generally in every speech going forward, because people can relate to that. They can't relate to generalities and stats and all those things.
And I must say, last night you saw what an asset he is to Kamala as a vice president, because the guy actually runs a state, and
Yeah.
he actually talked about some things last night that I had seen stories about. I think CNN had ran a story last week about Minnesota, how they were turning coal plants into solar plants and so on. And he did talk about that last night, and so all of that makes him look good, and it shows
really
that
came down to earth. In terms of
because he this is what he is doing. It's not like it's not vaporware. It's just like reality, right?
Exactly. He because that is what people would tune into, right? Not generalities. It's time to, especially this close to the election, it's time for specifics.
So after
I want to say though that overall, the American public should ask itself: we had Trump. We know what Trump is. Do we really want Trump
again
in 2024, going into 2025? Is this really the best we can do? Right? Doesn't Kamala Harris offer a different alternative, a better alternative than going back? They had that's a good slogan here. Don't go back.
Yeah, don't look back. Forward movements.
So in the final analysis, it's not going to be up to one debate or two debates. It's going to be people's gut perception of what is going to be better for them going forward. And that's the case, I think, Kamala has to make between now and the next election. The foreign policy stuff, both, I think, they didn't know what to do with it, to be quite honest. They know what they should do, but they can't say it because of the fact that whatever lobby there is, it just do not allow you to say certain things about Israel and Netanyahu, right? So they kind of glossed over that, all right? What's in it for us here in the Caribbean? I was surprised at Jay Black's suggestion that most Caribbean people identify more with Republican policy than Democrat. That's not true. On social issues, perhaps social issues meaning things like the woke, what the Republicans call the woke agenda, gay rights, LGBT rights, and all of those things. Yes, because most Caribbean people are still somewhat conservative when it comes to things like that. But generally speaking, and certainly in terms of America's relations with the rest of the world, we are more in tune with the Democrats than anything else. Because there's this thinking that generally speaking, the Republicans are hardcore. They're anti-immigration. They're anti-minorities. It's just a perception we have of Republicans. That's what they are.
And you feel like St. Kitts people ain't like that? St. Kitts Nevis people ain't like that?
They're going to like the fact that, how many St. Kitts people have families up there? Do you think they're going to like the fact that they're anti-immigration?
I feel like what Trump embodies is being a pro-national. I think as Kittitians and Divisions, we're pro-national. How much times people does come here and we always be like, what these people think they're doing here? Even if they come here on legal rights, legal basis.
I think what he's saying is that just because you have two eyes and fish have two eyes doesn't make you and the fish alike.
Yeah,
exactly.
I understand.
They're too quick to brand people and lump people. One of the first things they're going to do is deport people.
I feel like that's us.
They're nationalists. Yeah, I agree with that.
Somebody said it last week. Like, we could tolerate a certain amount of immigrants to the point where, we can't tolerate it anymore. We have some toleration for it, right?
Of course.
And I'm going to say we because I identify as a Kittitian and Division. However, what's going on in the U.S. is unprecedented with the influx of immigrants, and that is what Trump is talking.
Illegal, you mean, right?
Yeah, the illegal immigrants. Yes, the illegal immigrants. Yes, right. So we're gonna have some one or two people that are gonna slip in, and then after that is going to be like, okay, what's going on here? We always talk about these things. Jamsta said about something about the peninsula last week on Fire Talk, on Fireproof. I find that, all these things, it's a problem when the white man Trump says it. You see what I'm saying? But I feel like we embody that kind of construct. Construct is the word I was looking for earlier.
No, all countries have would react to what is seen as being overwhelmed by legal immigration. Mm-hmm. And as long as you have borders, your borders should be secure.
Should be, but Kamala ain't doing his job.
You should definitely determine who comes into your country. Absolutely. Right? They're no different from anybody else. But the Republicans first of all, they make too big a deal about it.
Too big a deal of what?
In terms of the numbers. It's not like a mass of people just swarming over the
What?
That is not
Have
the
you
case.
seen the numbers?
The numbers does not. Do you know the population of America?
Do you know what 11 million
numbers
undocumented
are
immigrants look
minuscule.
like in a United States of America? Do you know what effect that can have on the economy?
If you see pictures of caravans, it's gonna look overwhelming.
If
But
you've
the
seen
actual
what's
numbers-
going on in societies, I have friends in New York that say that apartment and hotel complexes came from off the ground just to host these people, right? There are lots.
And what's wrong with that?
What do you mean,
There
what's
are
wrong?
Other countries that wanted legal
What?
immigration, wanted more people. At the time, Canada used to do the same thing when they wanted.
We're not
more
talking about
people
Canada.
to come
We're
and
talking about the
develop
US. This is unprecedented, my lad. This is not something that even supposed to happen when Kamala is the border czar. Biden himself said that.
It was Balthazar.
Kamala is
That's
Balthazar.
debatable. But the fact is, the Republicans use the immigration issue in a very obnoxious way.
It is obnoxious.
The kind of we should have more immigrants from Norway instead of these,
But that's more Trump. That's more Trump. Trump is the one who said that. Trump is the one who's been, bold-faced in saying that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. They put a racial thing on it.
Nobody put a racial thing on it. Nobody put a racial
Well,
thing
if you
on
say-
it.
if
The
you-
Democrats are the ones that are pushing the race.
No,
right?
but if you're gonna say, as in Trump, if you're gonna say that,
Really?
why don't we have more immigrants from Sweden and Norway and what do you think he's saying?
Yeah, he's
Ain't no black people in Sweden?
What?
I mean,
Y'all just
it's
miss
so
everything
obvious.
Trump they be saying,
okay. So
It's so obvious. I don't know why you even dispute that. And that's the thing with Trump, eh? That's why some people like him. He speaks his mind. And he is honest in speaking his mind in those terms. Because he feels that is what's going to get him the popularity and get him elected and so on.
Yeah.
So he don't mind talking his mind and cutting the nuances and so on when it comes around that. And people like that. To me, that's the only reason why
But Trump-
he's so popular.
you said the Democrats was race, but Trump said the Haitians ate the dogs and the cats. Wasn't that
Trump
a
did
race
not say
guy?
that. Trump did not say that. Trump said
No.
they. He did
Vance-
not
Vance
say.
started
he
that.
repeated, no, but that's the thing. He repeated that narrative.
Exactly.
In his
He repeated the
campaign
narrative to
response.
make an example as to what is going on in the U.S. And the thing
But
is,
then-
it was made in it was made in light, right? Of like these people are coming here. The illegal immigrants are coming here,
But
right?
those people are
That's-
legal.
Right? Yeah, that's illegal, right? And this is what's happening in the communities. This is what's being observed in the communities. They're coming with things that are taboo to us. And it's not a situation just like where the Haitians messing up everything. No, that is not what he's saying. He's saying, in communities, they're coming with things that we're not accustomed to. And it's alarming the people that are here already, that live here, that are Americans, by birthright, by documentation, whatever it is. But the Democrats said, okay, we're going to push this race thing. He did not make it about race. That whole Sweden thing
So-
is because he made mention to Venezuela and them other countries where they're literally deporting the criminals and they're pouring them into the U.S. It's a story, it's a fact.
Yeah, I did hear about that. But okay.
So when you see everything is about race with the Democrats, they're gonna always make it about race, and that's my issue, right? Kitchens, I hope Kitchens, when the thing in command, I hope they adopt the mentality, because I call on here. I think Jamsta was even boosting them up a little bit, talking about, well, not really boosting them up, but we spoke about the zoning when it comes to, you know, certain developments that were happening in St. Kitts.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a very, very brief mention about a certain set of race of people that establish stores in every community, right? Mm-hmm. I'm all for that. You know why? Because the reason why these people are able to establish these things is because, one, they see a business opportunity, they band together, they think together, and a lot of these...
Do you know where the money comes from?
Places, hold on. A lot of these places that they established their stores at were once local stores that got shut down and was stopped because business wasn't as good. Why wasn't the business good? A lot of factors. But these people have the right to do what
I ask you again, do you know where the money comes from for the Chinese? I mean, there's no reason to be coy about it. Do you know where the money for the Chinese businesses comes from? The Chinese government.
Let's talk about the price of rice.
No, the Chinese government has a long-term plan to economically colonize us and the rest of the world.
Okay,
they're overpopulated.
But before
they give them loans, 1%, 0.5%, 2%.
You're going
0%
based
sometimes
on what is perceived to be the overarching narrative. But
it's true.
But if you operate within the confines of the law in every country, right, then there should be no issue, right? We don't know if these people are paying some heavy immigrant, let's say for lack of a better word, an immigrant tax. You don't know what agreement or what kind of legislation was put in place with them and the government, right? Let
me ask you a question. You know what reciprocity means?
Go ahead.
Do you think we really need to take a break, but and we should let the listeners know that the AG is not going to be in again. He had to let's say postpone. Do you know that none of us here could set up a business in China?
Why not? Why not?
Because the Chinese government is going to put Chinese first. Meaning,
is this the first time we've mentioned which race we're talking about?
No,
but I'm not going to be coy.
But I was wondering though. I know Jamsa said they have a back-end, but why is it all mom and pop shops that we knew from growing up? Why is it they can't survive, and why is it when the locals do start a business, their business don't flourish?
There's something in retail science called loss leading that the Chinese do. The Chinese are prepared to sell things at a loss until they kill you. That's why the mom and pop shops don't exist. And they can do that because they are subsidized by the Chinese government.
So why we can't do that?
That's the question, isn't it?
Okay. So let's just say they have a better system than what we have. Right?
You could say that because
they have a better system.
Because
they care about nation building and spreading their seeds.
So
right?
we're really not country above self over here.
I ain't about that. I ain't gonna say that. Not after independence.
Okay, guys, let's take the break.
Yeah, let's take the break.
8:42 and having lots of fun. Jay, it's nice to have you back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
On October 11th, join us at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort for Shades of Earth, Women in the Spotlight of Climate Change. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., experience a powerful evening that explores the link between the global climate crisis and gender-based violence. Hosted by Garden of Rebirth, an empowerment center for women, this event features survivor stories, scientific insights, and theatrical performances that highlight the challenges faced by women in the Caribbean. Your contributions will help to establish a new counseling center, offering support to those in need. Be part of this meaningful movement for change. Get your tickets now at Digital Print Plus on Princess Street, or Garden of Rebirth's Facebook page, or via Chat Cash. Let's make a difference together.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Stand by. And we are back. You guys having a big laugh.
The camera never come off even when we went on break. So everybody over here seeing Kortensia, oh, you give me tongue.
Hey.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking that content.
Oh.
No.
I get. Before you said lip, why you say that? Yes.
Bye. But you know what's funny? The camera never turned off. So you could see her over here.
And I know that. That's why. Yes. Just being wrong on all levels. We were talking about immigrants, right? Because some of the people that even live in the U.S., Mr. Trump's descendants aren't Americans. His in-laws aren't Americans. Aren't they not immigrants?
Well, we're not talking about immigrants. We're talking about.
And do you know the first lady was she was in the country illegally for a long time.
What is illegal?
The former first lady.
What is illegal?
Meaning she went to the U.S. and she overstayed and. Yeah, and only got her.
Let me tell you something.
If that was a black woman,
I don't
if
want
that was a black woman, who ended up being married by, say,
I don't want this to be a illegal.
She was never going to be
legal debate.
She was never going to be first lady.
We all know that there are lots of people from all over the world that seek asylum in the U.S. right, and we're always going to have people doing that, and of course they're going to always jump at the first opportunity to legalize themselves, right? And we've had many stories about where people illegally crossed the border and they made a life for themselves and they had children, and that is how they were able to naturalize, as what we would say, or legalize themselves, right? No, I'm all for that, right? I've met some really dope people here that, by the first sight of the police or wherever agent that we have to control the border, they will get deported immediately. And we have banded together to get these people and keep these people here and what's not, right? That happens, right? But the issue here is sometimes we are a little bit, I can't say how the media, we're a little biased in terms of who we do it for, right? So these people, and we're going to identify it for the listeners, these people, which we were talking about, the Chinese people, they come here, they establish businesses, right? They acquire land, they build large establishments. There's a huge one going up down by me, right? And I always, my story headline for that is from weaves to riches, right? Because they come here selling the thing that everybody wants, and they make a killing off of that. And now they're building hotels.
But why can't we sell those things ourselves?
Oh my gosh.
Because we don't support each other.
We don't support each other.
I was just telling him that during the break.
We do not have the same system that the Chinese have for themselves. The Chinese, the Indians.
We prefer to flock to that supermarket than to go to.
But you also need to say the government doesn't support us either. Because if the government.
So we don't support each other?
I wouldn't necessarily say the government does not support us, right?
No, but here's what I'm saying. If we as a people aren't going to support each other, the government, part of their governmental policy should be some kind of protectionism that says, okay, if like Richard Keynes used to say, people used to come with him foreigners used to come to him about businesses all the time, and he said, "No, well, that's a great idea, but I want a local to do it." This is something that should be, you could say, ratified by the government, and something that should be practiced. I feel like, okay, you're gonna have Chinese and Indian citizens or whatever, people that you sell passports to. Sorry, you're only gonna be allowed to do maybe your Indian food or your Chinese food. I'm sorry, I don't care who's mad at me. That's a hill I'm prepared to die on. They should. And listen, black women generate probably the most money.
We spend too much
as far as hair products and beauty products.
We spend too much
Why
money.
can't our black women be the ones, us, me and you, be the ones selling that stuff?
We do.
But I mean, no one should have been allowed to come in here to be selling cosmetics other than one of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Because majority of us.
I'm going to die on this hill.
You can die on that hill, Jamster. Right? I won't come to the funeral. Here's what I'm saying, Jamster. You mentioned the government. Politics aside, now, one might argue that one of the major ways that we make money is by citizenship through investment. Right, throughout the years, no matter which party.
Yes, but we're selling passports. It doesn't mean that they should get every single perk and every single privilege that that birthright that birthright citizenship gives you, because other countries do the same thing. Other countries decide.
So let me cook now.
Listen.
Let me cook.
Let me make this last point.
Make the last point.
There are some countries then you can come in. There are some countries go as far as you could be born in the country, and they decide you're not a citizen of that country for whatever
some
reason.
Of those, okay.
Just to make my point. Go ahead.
Okay.
You sure?
Ergo.
Okay, cool.
Having a passport should not give you all the privileges of Kortensia or UJ Black or me.
My God. I'm glad that people can see your face. Okay, sir. Go ahead.
Right.
You had breakfast?
So, no.
You got a smart guy face on in here.
What I was going to say is, one of the ways we make money here in the Federation is through citizenship by investment, right? However that turns, it turns, right? Now, I have to get back my point because, okay, we got 2 calls, fine. Okay, first call, second call, boom. All right, back to it. No, politics aside, you mentioned the government earlier and how the government doesn't do this and the government doesn't do that. No, again, I'm going to hit you with the point. We have a call.
Yeah, hold that thought.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on LNG. Good morning.
Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning. We have to realize that this is a relatively new phenomenon. The true test is going to come after, let's say, a generation. I mean, we have some clues now. The new immigrants to our country, let's say, born their children here. How many Chinese are born in JNF? Or Indians or whatever other race for that matter? If you do that, you're investing in the country. But if you're going to be going back to China because you're pregnant, or not making sure that you try and assimilate in the local population, you stay in your little corner, that seems more like exploitation than anything else to me. Okay? So the jury should still be out on these new immigrants. Because all countries, you can't stop immigration, right? People will always gravitate towards where they have the opportunity.
Correct.
And how we react to them, like in the case of the Chinese, initially there is a visceral reaction that they come to replace our mom and pop shops or take us over and that kind of thing. But that to me is alarmist and not necessarily the case. Okay? If what Jamsa is saying is true, that it's really a long-term plan to recolonize, then we should sit up and take notice. Okay? But I think it's too early right now to say that they're trying to do that.
Well, economic colonization, anyway.
Well, in the final analysis, once we still maintain the capitalist system here, what you call economic colonization really has no meaning, you know.
Well, I wouldn't say that, because I would like to think that if you have a country with 98% of the people look like everyone in this room, that the economy is supposed to serve for the benefit of the system.
Majority.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not people coming here and within
Well,
you know.
No, but if you look at the Chinese model, you don't see, haven't you noticed that they're pretty much, like even their clerks and so on, are Chinese, and they don't look like no high-powered investor or rich person, right? Maybe they themselves are being exploited, right? And as long as we keep the current stratas in society, where there are lots of, well, not a lot, but there are some very rich people, very rich local people here too, you know, right? We don't go after them, but they're there.
But why would you go after them? They're us.
But when you immigrate to a country, you're saying that you remain, to use the American term, aliens forever?
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying because of our size.
Didn't we adopt somebody like Kishu just as much as he adopted our country? I mean, people regarded him as pretty much a local, right? And that's the whole
But you know,
point.
but
If
okay,
you
that might be so.
how
But you
you-
see, this is part of black people's problem. We accept everyone, and the same people. That's not going to be reciprocated a lot of the times. Most of the times, 99% of the times. We accept everyone. We accept everyone. We take them to our bosoms, and a lot of these people are opportunists, to put it nicely. And
don't you prefer that than the other extreme where, because this is what I think people like Donald Trump is up in arms against. The other extreme where the poor and the destitute and the hapless people of all other countries come in here because they're doing it essentially in search of better opportunities too, you know. Right? That's his case. Okay?
well, all I'm saying is we need to find.
If the Chinese, so what if the Chinese who come here, right, set up thriving businesses and because in the final analysis it does have the economy, right? There is always what to me what we should be doing is trying to create more opportunities for local people to get into those areas as well. There isn't enough support for that. I
Exactly.
would grant you that.
I mean, look at that. I mean, it just makes my blood boil every time I see it. I'll just as one example. Take that beauty supply store up there on Keon Street. That should be owned by a local. I don't care what anybody says. I do not care. Y'all don't come for me. I am sorry.
You can. So what if it's a retail thing, and it's the only reason it can exist there is because they give good value for the money.
So Kitchens and divisions can't give good value for money? That's what you're saying?
Who?
Kitchens and I mean, if we're not going to be
It's all
proactive,
about competition. That's why I say it goes back to the basic thing.
right? Competition. So maybe you should have 3, 4, 5 Kitchens and divisions running those stores. Yes, that's competition.
But what's preventing that, Jamsta? These people cannot survive. If
Do
they're
you
not
do you
supported
imagine?
by
Do
the
you
local
imagine?
consumer.
Do you imagine that? Do you imagine that locals are going to get the same concessions that the foreigners will get?
Then they should demand it if they don't. If you're going to tell me that somebody setting up a retail store for beauty products are going to get concessions, and a local business person who want to do the same cannot, well, what we doing? I mean, that don't make any sense whatsoever. That's craziness. So if it does in fact exist, I don't think it exists like that. If that in fact exists like that, it should be stopped right away. People should protest against that. But once the playing field is level, right? What we should be doing is learning from whatever business practices they have that make them so successful. Okay? I think that is where the concentration should be.
Okay.
Right? Making sure that we can compete with them by doing whatever they're doing right.
Okay, I wanna we wanna change the topic a little bit and move on. But I just wanted to say quickly, this was something, and then you guys, I thought this was kind of important before we go to the break, and then we get into whatever else we want to get into. There is no there's no farm report. There's no farm report this morning. Just letting our listeners know. I had forgot to mention on Monday that Mexico elected its first female president about 3 months ago. I think it was July or June, something like that. And she was sworn in this week, and Jill Biden led the U.S. delegation for her swearing in, for inauguration and so on. First female president of Mexico and first Jewish president. And so I wondered if you guys thought that's maybe a good omen for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, the next president of the United States of America.
So
we all know that.
So it makes 2 countries out of the 3 North American countries that have had female leaders. Mm-hmm. So let's see if the Americans are gonna join the club next month.
They are gonna join the club. Jay's over here quiet and pouty.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, Jay?
You let the caller take up the time to the point where we gotta go on commercial. I was cooking.
Yeah, well, when we come back, we're gonna cook because we have the time. We have the time for us, right? So 9 o'clock. Okay, let's take a quick break and come back. Make it up to you. You want to buy your breakfast? raisin roll and
you think you catch me like that?
A red bread.
With food, man. You catch me just when it's studying you right.
Coming back.
Found the sound 98.9
Inter-Island Elevators is seeking an elevator technician. The elevator technician will be required to visit customers in St. Kitts and Nevis and service elevators according to best industry standards. Qualifications include high school diploma or equivalent, completion of an apprenticeship program or technical degree in a relevant field preferred, certification as an elevator technician, 2 or more years of experience working with elevator installation, maintenance or repair, and a driver's license. Apply to info@interislandelevators.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Two minutes after 9 o'clock, Island Tea continues its hump day, Wednesday, October 2, and JB wants to cook.
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't do me that.
What?
The pot is boiling.
Anywho's, the last caller made it a point, and if there's anything I could take away from that is that we need to look at, as Kittians and divisions, we need to look at how these people come here and they dominate, right? We need to take a page out of their book and, figure out why is it that after a certain time in the night, it's only a certain set of restaurants are open that are run by
a certain set of businesses.
A certain set of businesses that are run by a certain set of people. Why?
But you know something? We are such a funny type of folk that when a certain business open, we call her Black Chinese.
Really? I never heard that.
I never heard.
What? Y'all never heard them refer to a certain businesswoman as a Black Chinese because she opened on a certain day of the week?
But that is commendable. You know why? And it's sad at the same time.
Yeah, because why would we refer to her? Why can't she be a local that's trying?
No, because it is the foreigners that come here and introduce that hustle concept. How is it that coming up to a big holiday weekend where it's jam-packed of events, local events, why is it that the local stores are the first to close down?
Yeah.
Right? Which is what I was going to say. Politics aside, why is it that we can't come up with another creative form of whatever business to earn more revenue other than the CBI and whatever it is that people so hail and glorify and worship, right? Some of the tourism, right? No, I'm not trying to bash anybody here, but we've seen what COVID does to these things, right? These cannot be our main sources of income, and I don't want anybody coming out here talking about sugar cane and all that.
I'm with you. I remember I said that last week. We need to find a way to diversify the economy
and then
further.
we turn around and we look at these people that do better than us, and we be like, oh, they feel they could take over. Yes, they can. Yes, they can, and they're doing it. From weaves to riches, from weaves to hotels, right? If y'all can't see, if people cannot see what is going on right now, you're talking about economic, what's that word you use?
Diversification?
No. When you take out
economic colonization.
Colonization, right? We are going to see that, I guarantee you, within the next 20 years. You know when that's going to happen? When one of these foreigners, their kids, run for government. That is when you're going to see it happening.
You seem like you're licking your chops. You're looking forward to this.
No, I'm not, right? I'm not. You know why I'm not? Because I really don't.
I really think it's going to happen.
I don't care for it to happen. But when it does, people are going to be like, oh my God.
But the kids won't be foreigners though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Because they're naturalized. You know, they're born here, so they're full on competition. We taking a
morning, guys.
Morning.
How are you guys doing this morning?
Good. Yourself?
I am fine, thanks be to God. You know, I'm listening to Jay Black. Jay Black, you're right. You know, you're so right.
And all right.
But then again, you see, it's the people. It's all up to the people. Because when I could remember when the Chinese start coming and they put down that awful building, that ridiculous building that taking up the waterfront, blocking the beauty of the waterfront. I used to back and make a whole lot of noise on the same station. People sit back in St. Kitts and we allow people to come in and we watch them put down this and put down that, and we wait till it's finished to complain. No, when you see groundbreaking, you pull up on the government, because remember, it's the government that allow these people to come in and do these stuff. And Mr. Matt Mahan was talking about, if they could come, it's competition. How can there's no competition if the playing field is not leveled? And it will never be leveled. Because you know why? A local, when you want to do a business, you got to go National Bank and they got to pull teeth and you got to go around the corner and you got to kiss some politician butt to get anything in St. Kitts done. But the Chinese, the government give them, the fund them, send them in other people's country to take over. Remember when they're coming, those people ain't coming to help you or to help your country. They're coming to claim and to conquer. They're coming to take over. If they build something, they're not going to say, I build it for you, for the people of the country. They build it, but they want their name on it. They want it to be known. This is Chinese owned. It's not think it's owned, it's Chinese owned. Look at that prison that they're supposed to be building. Who do you think owned the prison? Not Chinese. Everything that come in your country, they want to own it. Ask Jamaica. Jamaicans stand ball over the bridge and the this and the that they put down, but the Chinese let it be known it's mine. It's ours. It's time for us now as Kittitians to realize these people, they're not coming in to help our country. They're coming in to help themselves and to take over. And we need to put a stop to it. And it's the wicked leaders we put in governance. Those are the ones who hurt the citizens the most, because they get their palm grease and they allow all kind of nonsense to take place. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you for your contribution as usual, caller. Oh.
Back to me. All right. No, Carl, thanks for saying all of that. No, I'm not going to subscribe to the government doing all of this, or is responsible in the way that you mentioned. But what I'm going to say is this, to answer that. We had a very patriotic discussion some time back with one of our historians, and we spoke about the unions, right? Before the black people took over government, it was not, let's just put it this way, it was not our people running the government. And our people got so mad to the point where we lashed out and we started pushing, riots, debates, all that stuff. And we are where we are today. And we still have a ways to go. I am pro-Kittian and I'm always going to speak the facts. If I don't understand, I won't. Right? We have to realize that we're still democracy, right? And we have to fight for what we want. Now, if these people are coming here based on a model or a construct that is much larger and different from other countries, then we should figure out how we can get to that point as well. Politics aside, government aside, I'm challenging us as Kittitians to find ways to work together. But that may not happen. That may not happen in reality.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because that's just who we are. Now the question is, are these people really together like how we make it seem? What are the bindings? What are the contracts? What is in place for these people to actually oblige to obey the mandate and what's not? What is in place? Because if you see the living conditions of some of these people here, you'd really wonder what is really going on. What is the deal here, right? And a Kittitian or Division would look at that and be like, me ain't doing now because me not get me good house for them kind of living conditions.
Caller, good morning. You're live in LNT.
Good morning. Peace to you, peace to the team, peace to St. Kitts and Nevis, peace to Constituency 7. I'm here listening to the conversation, and it's very interesting. And if we do not know our past, whether from a country politically, or even economically, as what we are talking about, is economic development and so forth, we have a problem. And I'm one of the deputy political leaders for the People's Action Movement. And I think some people might say I'm repeating and like to talk about PAM in its 1980s. But those days were economic development days, and the persons were developing. We have businesses flourishing. All I'm saying, when the next election comes, I want you all to vote the People's Action Movement. Give us a chance. And you see, just like how we did it in the 80s, coming up to the 90s, we will do it again and even better. Because sometimes, yes, as the gentleman is saying, politics aside. And I agree with him. But sometimes persons who run government and understand the needs of the people and have the best interests of the country and the people at heart, you will see a complete difference. And your people will feel happy. Money will be made for our people. And some of the problems that we're having now, even if you want to put the CBI into the People's Action Movement brought at it, and there was no issue until recently. Even with the sugar, even though you had the problem, the People's Action Movement still find ways to make sure people in that sector benefit. I don't know if any one of you here were around when the people who actually cut in the sugar cane, you go around the island, they had big houses compared to persons who, some of you might even say they were educated. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying, because the opportunities were there for the people to benefit. And even if you have to look now, some person will say, oh, I don't want to come out like our national hero, Dr. Kennedy Simmons, is now, where he didn't have anything like that. They want to come up better and have this and have that. What I'm saying, the philosophy of the People's Action Movement is to put people and country first. And therefore, the problem or the issue that we are discussing now, will be solved and can be solved, just like how it was during the 1980s to 1995. And I'm using right now, this platform right now. People who want to see a change and see the economic development and persons benefiting, give the People's Action Movement that opportunity. We have a leader, Natasha Gray Books, and her team. I am Lincoln David Perry, running in constituency 7, one of the deputy political leaders. I am asking you, I'm telling you, if you want to see what you're saying about, give us that chance. 20 years, and then what I'm saying, it's about time for the People's Action Movement to show the country again what it is to be prosperous. Whether you're a business entity, whether you're an individual, because under those there's a lot of local businesses who are flourishing. I just want to steady by telling you, thank you very much, youngster, for pointing out that what is happening and what is not happening. And I'm happy that I get into bring to memory the older ones and those of you who may not know, to know and reflect and even ask questions. And you will understand what I'm talking about. Yes, there will be the political issues where people will say things and that, but just look at the economic issue that we are talking about and the opportunities that our local people had. And even persons coming here to do business. But give the People's Action Movement next chance when the next election comes. God bless you, God. God bless St. Kitts and Nevis. Peace to us all, because we need peace in our country at this time. Have a blessed day. Peace to constituency 7.
Okay, great. 9:14.
I wanna commend that caller for calling in and giving himself the plug. He's like, yeah, vote for us. And I'm not going to bash that, and here's the reason why, right? Not because of political alignment, but once again, politics aside, why is it that we have to wait for when someone says, well, I am vying for this constituency to be your candidate, to be your representative? Why is it that we have to wait on these people? It's always a conversation of, well, we can't get election or whatever it is because, this person ain't got a full team or whatever it is. No, I don't subscribe to that, because it's always a situation where we're always waiting on government. We cannot always wait on the government, right? And if we take up the mantle where it is country above self, and we all understand that we are all a part of this nation building, and we need to put on all the laws and regulations and all these things to prevent whatever it is that we don't like to happen. It's a question is, who is really in charge? Is it us? Is it the government? Or is it the people that come here and operate within the confines of our law? We have to look at this thing and figure out, where does the onus fall on in terms of our nation building? Carlo, you're on the air.
Caller, could you start listening to your radio, please? We're ready for you. Caller. Okay, on to the next.
Yes.
Hold on.
Caller, go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning, man. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up?
We're good, thanks.
Yeah, Jamsta, man. I'm doing good, man. How you guys doing, all right?
Yes, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah. Jamsta, man. Nice to hear them words coming out of your mouth, man. Birthright citizenship.
Okay, thanks.
Going on in St. Kitts, man, it's really appalling, man. And a lot of it's come up now recently from that CBI program. That economical, we can't even comprehend how much money done passed to St. Kitts and Nevis' hands. These politicians that we got in as leaders, who's supposed to be vanguard to our country. They're supposed to be looking out for the people and the country. The money came in, and they mismanaged the money. The money went to the politicians, the lawyers, and the agents selling the passport. A lot of that money should have been put back into developing the country, both islands. And we're here wrangling and carrying on. Me personally, St. Kitts and Nevis is so small that, I hear them talk about trying to nationalize the land. But where are those lands at now, today? The politicians now, they're not really doing a good job. St. Kitts and Nevis, being that we are so small, we cannot operate like other islands that's big and have that natural resources and got that vast amount of land. Something got to be put in place to protect the lands for the people. And the politicians, they're not doing it. They're not doing it, and they're not going to do it. They talk about a lot of stuff when they're outside, but when they get inside, they don't make no changes at all. You know what I mean? That money from that CBI program, it took Philippe Martinez to expose BAM. But I listen to a lot of other radio stations, and I hear a lot of other callers calling in, especially on that Freedom Radio. There's one specific guy. He said he wants to see somebody go to jail. And recently, he's asking if they can get that money back. All of that money that's missing and gone all over the place, all over the world. People outside St. Kitts and Nevis is benefiting from that money, and we are not benefiting locally. And that's our national asset called our passports. You know what I mean? Yo, things in St. Kitts and Nevis is really out of control. Like Kortensia said yesterday, nothing is changing. It's not changing at all. The politicians, they're going and they do whatever they feel like. But the people, them, gonna have to stand up for themselves. Race relations gonna boil over in St. Kitts and Nevis in the future. You know, I'm looking at a clip about the CBI. The CBI is very detrimental to the nation. And the way how these Europeans are doing us right now, they're remote controlling us from Europe and from foreign. Slavery is over, but our leaders are not operating like that. They're taking us back to these colonial times. You know, me personally, man, I think this news is heading down the wrong path, man. But I wish you guys the best down there, bro. Thanks a lot.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you for your contribution.
On to the next, another call. 919. Caller, go right ahead. Island T.
President, good morning, Jamsta.
Hey, what's up?
Good morning.
Greetings to the crew. This is Rascalangi.
Morning.
Good morning. You know, it's a very interesting topic that y'all are talking about, but I grew up in a shop, you know. And the reason why we people don't support our people is because of politics. PAM people ain't gonna buy from Labour people, and Labour people ain't gonna buy from PAM people.
Sad.
I know that. I grew up in a shop.
Wow.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So nobody could tell me nothing. I experienced it. In McKnight, where we shop was, Labour people wasn't buying from us because that's a we spam.
Oh boy.
So that is the root of the problem. What we need is a national consciousness. We do not have that. That is the problem. We have a political divide. What I'm calling for is the unification of our people in this federation. Is the politics that is dividing us. And it was instituted because the former colonizers knew. And the basic thesis is that divide and rule is the way. Once we are not on one page, we are divided. You tell me one issue, basically, that the government and the opposition could agree on. They don't even agree on reparations. The $500 trillion that the colonizers them owe us. We're talking about diversifying the economy. These people owe trillions of dollars and we're not fighting for it. So I'm calling for a national consciousness. I'm calling for people to atone for their sins. We have sinned against one another because of the political divide. That is the reality of the situation. We have to get on one page. You see what is happening in the world from a geopolitical standpoint. Everybody is against us and attacking us right now. Right now on the African continent, the United States government shut down the African stream. In Finland, they're saying that the so-called refugees, they can't get health care anymore. Because in Finland, the health care is free. In Switzerland, they're saying that no more refugees should be coming to Switzerland. But these are the same people that stabilize our economies. There's a serious attack on African people and poor people, in particular right now across the globe. And if we don't get our house in order, we're going to be in more serious problems. You see, we're escalating now between Iran and Israel. That is going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So I'm saying that it's time for our people to sit down and trash out whatever differences that we have. That is the only way forward. You look what's happening in Niger. The Nigerian government tell France it's time for you to leave. France is like they ain't leaving. But you think they're leaving because they want to keep on exploiting us? So the Sahel states, right, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, they had to take matters into their own hand. In these same countries, the same NATO countries and imperial countries, right, they're funding the so-called terrorists to destabilize the economies. Is the European countries that are funding these so-called terrorist groups because they created them. So I'm saying to our people, we got to get real. We're saying, look here, don't buy other people coming dominating our economy. All we got to do, don't buy nothing from them. But we got to set up our own. I try setting up a cooperative here, but I can't get nobody to farm the executive. You understand? Our people might need to be decolonized. We are colonized people, that's why we have so much problems. Look how we're running around here killing one another. It is designed that way, the same thing in the United States. You know, I live in the United States also. And the same thing I see going on here with the killing is the same thing I see going on in the United States. We don't manufacture guns. Where the guns coming from? Right? The industry that manufactured guns is a business. They don't care. When you think that there's so much wars going on around the world, the military industrial complex, they make money from war. These are the realities of the situation here. And our people got to wake up and smell the coffee. We have to deal with our own people's interests. And we are saying, if you don't want to defend black people's interests, then you're against us. It's as simple as that, brothers and sisters. Our interests have to be defended. And if you don't want to defend it, no matter who you be, whatever political party, you understand? Then if you don't want to defend black people's interests, then you're against us. There's no more argument. You understand? We have to get real. That's all I'm saying to our people. And we have solutions to the problem. The 7 principles of Kwanzaa is our guide. You measure unity to strive for and maintain unity in the family, the nation, and the race. That's just Monday. We have a principle for every day. So I'm saying to our people, it's time for us, you understand, to atone for our sins that we have committed against each other and come on a level playing field and get on one page. You're either defending our people's interests or you're against us. It's as simple as that. Where Granny says, stop the killing, we have a nation to build. Where Granny says, love one another. Where Granny says, buy local. Where Granny says, support your own. Where Granny says, one people, one aim, one destiny. Give thanks, one love.
Okay, great. Kalanji.
I like that.
I like how the caller said that. Well, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I like how he said that. You know, if we don't want the people them to take over, then we should just boycott and not buy from them. I'm also of the belief. However, I'm of the belief that when these people come into the country and we realize that, okay, well, boy, this is something that looks proper. Why is it that we can't collaborate and find out how these people get in it work without, trying to bad mind, as we would say, bad mind the thing, right? We have a next caller. Wow, me I get to talk.
Caller, go ahead. Nah, but that's good though.
Yes,
it's good that we get the calls coming.
I mean, Jamsta.
Hot water.
Jamsta.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, good morning and good morning, Jay Black. Kortensia.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, Jamsta. Kalunji and me brethren in America from Nevis. They so right, Jamsta. For what's going on right now in St. Kitts, we gotta blame Breccia, If Breccia got people living so, ain't buying from one another because Breccia was loved by the people. And instead of educating the people, he was playing the masses house politics. Generation into generation.
I have to.
We can't feel people them who are supporting Breccia. He didn't educate them in terms of letting them know he's one people and leave this colonial tribal alone. Instead of that, And jam down against him. This is what going on, Jay Black, a long time. You gotta go back and come forward. What Kalunji saying is right, you know. For years up in that night.
But jam down. Jam down. Jam down. Jam down. Jam down. Jam down. Okay. Jam down. Let me say. Oh, okay.
Have a good morning to call.
I have to push back against this Bradshaw. You can't blame Bradshaw for that. You have to blame the colonizers. That's where the divide and rule. That's where the divide and rule strategy started.
I wouldn't shift the blame to anybody. I feel like
no.
I wouldn't necessarily.
No, you know we had the divisions there because we have the etc.
Nothing to
yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily blame
But then
Bradshaw.
we didn't change. We didn't change them. The persons from back then didn't change the mentality, and the mentality remained unchanged as it goes along.
I need to.
Let's take this call. Caller, go ahead.
Good morning. Jamsta?
Yes.
I'm not here. I can't link into the radio station for some unknown reason. So I does not know who all is that presently there. So all I'm going to could have said good morning. I don't
we have the full
Good morning.
Jay Black,
Kortensia and Jamsta.
Yeah.
And who is the person from the consortium?
Oh, we don't have family today. Sorry about that.
Caller. Try didn't make it today.
Yeah, I'm a little sad too, Carlo.
Because I wanted to make an input because it's like we should be having a meeting tomorrow evening, and it's like it's very, very serious. What the topic you are speaking on? I don't want to divert from what you are speaking on.
Well, you know, we started out with the initial conversation was about how the Republican construct is very similar to the one down here in the Caribbean, and we went and we divulged on how we feel and how we view the nation and how we work together as a nation to build a nation. So yeah, we talking. The caller a while ago just mentioned something about Bradshaw and how Bradshaw is.
But he was the best that he was, and to me, is still the best leader of this country. Because I keep listening, and I was very young when he was in power. When he died, I was 17 and for 18, so I know a very good amount of what he stood for. For example, on his speech, when you listen to his voice, the tone of his voice, work, and it's like he emphasizing the emphasis coming to his voice, that he lead from example. But right now, presently, the leaders, for example, right, what they're going to speak of the recent meeting they had in the UN. When I listen to our Prime Minister, referring to our agriculture, it's far from the truth. Very far. He spoke about the 25 by 25 and where we at. Then again, because he's going to come out in the meeting tomorrow evening, and we have to emphasize on what's going on. The Minister of Agriculture and his prominent secretary, along with, and I'm very serious, along with the Commissioner of Police and the Prime Minister. Because what I'm going to presently know, Jamsta, you're acquainted very much so with what I'm going on because I've been on the radio speaking of this. Since February until now, a report cannot come because Agriculture Department came on my farm December of last year, pushed down my fencing, pushed down my posts and everything. The understanding was I was supposed to get my farm refenced. Drip lines and all these things was involved on my farm, without no kind of financial assistance from government, not government, from the rural administrators, because we are the government. And a lot of persons in this country does not seem to understand it. We give them a job. And they turn around and want to say, but right now, it's like the mark of the beast. It's like the mark of the beast coming to the Minister of Agriculture and the Permanent Secretary, Miguel Fleming. If he does not walk the road, you're excluded. Totally. For example, the Prime Minister in the UN making his speech. And while that's going on, the price of seasoning peppers went up by $1 per pound.
when thousands and thousands of seedlings I had on my farm, and none of them could have been transplanted from since January of last year. I'm not this year, sorry. The assistant director from agriculture of Lagreed came on my farm, videotape everything, send it to the same Miguel Fleming, so he there aware of what's going on. This thing is like to say, well, crush me. And this ain't start just this year, you know. I've been in front of a magistrate 1991, and the magistrate, he was a former chief of police, so John Lynchwade, came us come back, go see a lawyer and bring police back in front of him. Because the arrestment may know what to do with me for juice, lock me up this Saturday, and all kind of stupidness. This going on from since 1991, and I can't get no rest from these people. No rest absolutely at all, Jamsta. And you still listening me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
are.
we still here.
Yeah, of course.
You all have a like on Wednesday and a first show. I believe Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
This is Cash Right Tweet. I would like to go. I'm being on this program, the said program that I spoke of on many occasions.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take this no more because we, as the farmers, my intention when I go to the meeting tomorrow evening is to get a letter draft up to the UN, you know. The same place where the Prime Minister just come from the meeting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
No, because this thing is serious, you know.
Wow.
Very, very serious because this is my livelihood. It's over a mile in pipes. I had to buy to get water on my farm. Sundergan, the only the Almighty Creator, stop a crime from happening in this country. Somebody cut my pipe, put on a T on it, and police gonna tell me I got to live with that. It's after 1 o'clock on Sunday, I get water on my farm. This thing ain't right. Keep the commissioner of police. I just want a restraining order for 3 policemen too, and I can't get it. Can't get it. Totally can't get it. To me right now it's like, and I ain't got to come up on my farm right now neither, you know, because I got a nursery done by my brother down in the New Road Extension project. Thousands and thousands of pepper seedlings down here to come up here. How could when and how could I transplant them? Presently now they are not in the transplanting stage, but preparation has to be done. The fencing have to be replaced. The road that was being taken up by by Wilfred Pullack need to move. The person who put on the T on my pipe got to, in a lot of things got to be done. And what was promised to me, like covering, and when you put on the covering, the fencing had to go up. When you put up the fencing, you had to put on the covering. They had to pull drip lines. When you pull drip lines, they still had to cut out holes. We had to transplant the seedlings. In a lot of work still. So then by this month, I should be putting in my seedlings in the ground. So then by the month end, January next year, I should be harvesting. Me ain't gonna longer than next. Because the longer it takes for me land to be prepared, the longer it takes for me to make money.
Have you ever been to the ombudsman?
Yes, I did.
And
the man, I took in my hand far and wide.
And the ombudsman hasn't helped.
You, I tell you, he helped to the extent that he could. But the security forces, the police, I mean, a little example I was speaking of, back in 2016. Coyote Sutton could speak to this because it's them I had to go to, the army. X amount of marijuana was planted on my farm. I reached up here to go start out farming again. I got to the police, and to know the police, the men coming not paying attention. To the army, I was to go. Coyote Sutton and Patrick Wallace is who I was to reach out to. And that's how I get assistance. The police in St. Kitts is like they're waiting to see me either dead or get me in jail. That's the major intention. I'm not afraid to say it. No apologies. I have a lot of police friends, mind you. I respect the profession I respect the profession, but not all police. Not all police. Some of them are demons. As I said to you, Jamsta, my number is 668-2555. Slot me in on one of these mornings, so I could get more than just a phone call.
Okay, we'll come. I'll talk to Troy about
why?
it.
That was the farmer's report.
Me want to be on 30 minutes, nothing I want to like when they got the 11 o'clock to 1:30. That is what I'm speaking to, you know.
Oh, you mean the voices? Oh.
That's what I'm talking to, you know, because I don't want people to be able to call in and I could answer them because questions out there they want to ask and answer the need.
Okay.
And 5 minutes calling program, with me calling in, that's not
Okay,
enough.
we gotta take a
Not for the
break, but
federation.
yeah, we feel your pain. I mean, and you get there's some comments in here expressing similar sentiments. Yeah, so I don't understand why this has been going on for so long. I mean, I thought
since 1991, I was arrested in 9 and 24, it's 33 years suffering. All the Prime Ministers, all. From Kennedy Simmons come right down. I also had hot peppers leaving my family in Canada. I had a bill of fare. I don't understand it, you know. I don't understand, you know. When they talk about 16, under 16s, the under 16s ain't committing these crimes. The under 16s are not children live what they learn and learn what they live. It's from the seniors. The under 16s they ain't got no prostitution houses. They ain't got no importing no guns. They can't import coke now, you know. Anyway.
Okay.
Get in contact with me, Jamsta. And again,
okay, well, we be sorting out some stuff with the transmitter, but we really have to take a break.
All right,
yeah, okay, great.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Oh, I've got this feeling to high five the sun, dance in the rain, and have my scoop of fun. I'm on my way to flavor my day with something new, and I've got room for you. Let loose and live a little, get close and share a little, give in and taste a little. You'll fall in love with creamery novelties of life and live a little, get close and share a little, give in and taste a little. You'll fall in love with Creamery Novelty.
Enjoy Creamy Novelties ice cream, distributed by Rams Trading. Live a little.
Hey kids, drink healthy!
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink from more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. Hair toss, check my nails.
Well, we are back. It's 9:41. 19 minutes left on Island TV.
The times are going. The topics are hot.
90 minutes of breakfast.
I kind of that was a good workout. Hey? That was a good a lot of calls.
Oh boy. So I got a nice one here. And it comes from Loop Caribbean. And it says, BVI to remove visa requirements for Guyanese travelers.
Yeah, go ahead, talk the thing.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
You know, Angola has lifted theirs.
Really? I wonder why.
Because remember, Angola is a British territory.
Yeah.
So I don't know as to why they did, but now persons from Guyana can also go to Anguilla without a visa. So it says the Guyanese passport strength will improve as the British Virgin Islands has decided to eliminate visa requirements for travelers from the Southern Caribbean nation.
You think it has something to do with finding oil?
How did you know? I think I actually just thought that way because I'm thinking all of a sudden everybody wants to give us a break. Thank you. But all of a sudden, Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. Natalia Wheatley, announced the development yesterday during a media conference. This step strengthens the bond between our countries and the region, facilitating greater ease in travel, trade, tourism, and investment, the Premier said. Is this because these folks are now associate members of CARICOM? Do you think this is why? Dun, dun, dun.
Not necessarily, because they could have done that. I mean, you don't have to be. It's just that's like if St. Martin or some country that wasn't part of either OECS and they decided to do that. I don't think it would necessarily have. Although,
because remember with St. Martin, you have to have an American visa. Recently, if you have a Guyanese passport, because I guess some persons were going there and overstaying, etc., etc. So they were asking for that. But it has just dawned on me that maybe it's because they're an associate member of the sort, so they may be adapting some of it, but they're still going to have requirements and control, because I know the BVI is stringent on work permits. And
I get the impression sometimes that it's tied to if they figure that a particular country is economically well off, because I don't think Kitchens don't need visas to go to St. Martin, all right?
We never did.
No.
Did we?
No, we never Kitchen
did.
passport is fine.
Yeah, the Christian
Well,
passport is fine. No, the GT.
Okay.
And the article continues to say, this step strengthens the bond between our countries and the region, facilitating greater ease in travel, trade, tourism, and investment, the Premier said. It underscored our shared vision of regional cooperation and opens new opportunity for people-to-people exchange. You see what I said? Many of our Caribbean brothers and sisters already benefit from visa-free access to the BVI, and we're pleased to extend this reciprocal courtesy to Guyana, a giant in our Caribbean community. And that is so true, because there's a lot of Guyanese over there.
We have a call.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Morning, caller.
Good morning, Kortensia.
How are you doing?
Hi.
Good morning to Mr. Vance. JB Vance.
Oh, J.D. Vance Jr. I love it.
How are you?
He defend the devil.
For sure, for
Some
sure.
people have a good friend that argue for the devil, you know. God will be the culprit, and the devil is the victim. No, you know, well, it is good that JB take the opposite position.
It makes it interesting, you know.
More robust.
Yes, 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 of course.
There must be a yin to a yang.
We need opposition.
But I know he knows better. Anyway, he knows better. He knows better. You know, because in terms of the immigration, at one point, Trump said he preferred to get people from, I think, was Switzerland or one of those places over there where the blonde and the yellow hair people.
Yeah, it's at Sweden, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is that he's against immigration. He's against the racial, the ethnic mix of the group.
Yet,
as simple as that.
Simple as that. Yet our opposing gentleman here says it's the other side that's running the race card.
Well, everybody running the race card for either for or against. You understand? Because if you go to look in America, Italians, immigrants, I mean the whole thing. Some people, they're immigrants too.
Yep.
And a lot of them didn't come across the border. You get a visa, you go to visit, you don't come out.
Exactly.
So Trump's job is to find all of those who overstay. I'm sorry for petitions. I tell you all, you know, put your money in National Bank. So when Trump started to throw out everybody, and he said, well, don't come up here to get no children. And I agree with him with that, you know, for heaven's sake, if you're born in St. Kitts, where you carry children up, where you go and get them up there for?
Maybe because they think healthcare is better up there.
I
Not
don't
maybe
think so.
because they think you don't
They
feel
bring them
so.
home and they bring them home and we raise them until they come out of CFBC.
Yeah,
Where
that's
healthcare
true.
come in.
Maybe the initial part of the
We
healthcare.
educating them with no hopes of recovering any of the cost. Once they leave CFBC, are they going to college? Are they reach 18?
That's it.
All of our investment gone,
Yeah.
you know? Anyway, let's go to the Blatter story. He had you see, this philosophy of Kalonja is the same one Blatter had. If you're not for the Labour Party, you're against us. That was bred into the people. I was born 1948, and I know that J.B. Vance wasn't born yet.
I like how she's saying JB, not JD, you know.
It's creative, I gotta give it that.
J.B. Vance. Anyway, serious. They did not target any opposition. They don't care what color it come from. And in fact, he divided people over them days for the plant class. The same argument was being carried on. When these are people, especially when we began to get graduates, right? Coming back home. And people say, well, wait, this mentality is not good enough for our people. Every election they had from 1937, that the first one, with Manchester. And whatever his name is, where Zach used to live.
Yeah, Cunningham House, yeah.
No. And
Where
well,
Zach used to live? Oh, you mean up in Bucklers?
No, right next to government quarters, no, man.
Yeah, Cunningham House, that's what they call it.
Yeah, across the road, the Challenger.
Challenger. Did I say Cunningham? I meant Challenger. I always get those Challenger House. Sorry, I don't know where I got Cunningham from. Yeah.
Edgar Challenger.
Challenger House, yeah.
And the gentleman from Sandy Point. They're the ones who first run, and of course the business sector ran against them. After that, you begin to get a mixture. And every election, they had to form a different party. And the stronger Bratcher's influence grew. It was the harder it was for any political party to survive. To their horror, in 1965, I think, when the PAM party was formed, well, they begin, they run in, you don't see it, right? They're there for the business people and the whatever. And so they expected them to disband. Maybe the day after the election. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And so the seed was planted. The seed was planted in our people. And you could understand it. Because they live in conditions under which they lived and work in the early years. I mean, it was enough because the planters ruled. But as the Labour Party gained power, they still maintain that grip where you can't even think. It's like what Kalanja said, if you're not for us, you're against us. So there's no room for reasoning. And so, when he took the land, the people expected, since they had labored on the land like slaves for years, that they would get the land. He went beyond the planters. If you were found with the cane, kind of people used to pull cane out the engine and so, they would charge you, what, $2.50 for a joint? A joint, Put police by the line, you couldn't pull cane. If you cut cane, you couldn't be receiving more than one cane. And he said on the radio, I did not take the land to give it to you. I took the land to use for the sugar industry. That's appalling. Because people, just like how in 2005, people had the same expectation. But it was repeated that they didn't take the land for us. Why would you go and put up the land as collateral and get beyond your ability to repay? What you call that? That's what happened, National Bank, board, all of them should go to jail. Who should jail? I mean,
ouch.
About 70% of the debt was domestic. The sugar industry was failing since in the early 90s. They were told plans were made to diversify it. Plans. And they threaten, well, if we get into power, none of that can happen. So they go in and start to recapitalize the thing. I think already failing, Failing because the cost of production was twice the cost of what they were getting with the sugar. The Canadian and all, and different people sent in people to just, so that's where the ethanol and the fiber board and all of that was part of the plan. So they say, oh, well, we can bring it back. So they brought back the production quantity. They produced 50,000 tons of sugar. And they were popping champagne, and I am saying, you're crazy or something, $30 million loss. The next year again, they lose $30 million. And the next year again, so all they got to do is to carry the the land paper down to National Bank and get the money until it reaches a point where even the IMF said, look, you're going to collapse the bank. The central bank can all tell them, look, if National Bank go down, the indigenous banks in the Caribbean going down. So what they do? He and his cohorts go and hand the land over to National Bank or to what they call a TVC, a company that holds the land, right? Because according to the banking thing, National Bank should not hold real estate. I don't know if you know that. It's in the Banking Act. So the government lose control over the land. The land actually belongs to the bank because the debt is still on the books. And every year, the government paying interest on the loan. If they want access to the land, we talk about they have to go and buy back our own land at a higher price than when they went in. You know, so this thing about divide and rule and who not for me is against me, I hate to hear that, Uncle Angie. I hate to hear it. I believe in freedom of expression. I believe people must express themselves.
But also, you know, one of the things I was thinking about earlier when he mentioned Bradshaw is that the time was different, so maybe the approach to governance would have been.
No. God, the other Caribbean islands were like that. Let me tell you something. You know, he was quite friendly with the Haitian Papa Doc.
Yeah.
Do you know that? He's about 80. I didn't say you're going to do anything, you know.
What are you insinuating?
No. What I'm saying is this. Haiti had the what I call the Papa Macron.
Mm-hmm.
He tolerated no opposition. His people killed. We don't know that. So it came to a position where the Papa Doc and Papa Batch is the same story. It is same route. Nobody fool you. The people were made. Anybody who had a different idea, you get your passport and you leave.
Okay, before you go, let me ask you a question. I had a comment here. This person saying that if Bradshaw was alive, we would have been a little Cuba. You agree with that? And this is tied to the comment I made.
No, right? Remember the days of Bradshaw and Day. More than half of the population couldn't read. And they were kept to me in that kind of condition. The politicians had them to depend on them. You know, you see the same kind of movement, right?
But who
was in the union? Bradshaw was the head of the union, head of the government. Southwell the same way, Limo the same way. So who are you going to for justice?
But do you think?
The whole place locked down.
So you don't think some of those things would have changed because the times were changing?
They will not be tolerated. Remember, I'm telling you, you know.
Let me ask you another question. Another quick question which illustrates what it was like back then. The TV license thing. Who ended that? Was it the Labour? Southwell ended that.
I think it's Southwell, you know.
Okay. So you see.
Bradshaw wanted to keep our people in darkness. He meant well with some things, right? But it's the same Papa Doc story. You have such a grip on the people. The people can't decide. Antigua next door to us had the same kind of industry. Oh, he don't want the tourism here and all of that. You understand what I'm saying?
Mr. Bird said that?
And Bradshaw, yes. And he don't want the $30, as they call it, $30. And so he was content for us to cut the cane. Imagine when in the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, they were deporting people. Our people, because you know, they just go down there. And when the U.S. government think they had enough immigrants, they begin to round them up in St. Thomas and St. Croix and St. John and send them home.
Okay, Miss Henry.
The Antigua Prime Minister went and pleaded with the U.S. government not to send them home because there's nothing. Bradshaw went, because my brother was in the meeting, and told them, send them home, we have cane to cut. So he had this kind of cane mentality, you understand? He wasn't as progressive as people think. He was not. Southwell is the most progressive person there was in his days. Southwell, the same Southwell. But you see, he was born in Dominica, so he can't get no credit.
Oh, wow.
And the thing with Guyana and BVI, less people rushing to come to these islands now, because they could hopefully make it better in their own country.
Yep.
That's the only reason.
You are correct, Miss Henry.
Okay, Miss Henry.
All right then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, Jamsa, I want to continue the article before
Yeah,
we
go
round
ahead.
up. It
Yeah.
says the only Caribbean countries whose passport holders must apply for visa to enter the BVI are Suriname, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba. The decision was months in the making after a BVI trade delegation visited Georgetown last year. Wheatley explained that the timing of the visa waiver was influenced by Guyana's economic growth, driven by its expanding petrochemical and mining sectors, as well as its leadership in global affairs. For the BVI, this makes Guyana a key partner for collaboration and investment, the Premier said. He continues and goes on to say, and I quote, Guyana has become a model for sustainable growth and international diplomacy. Guyana's election to the United Nations Security Council places it in a pivotal position to influence global policies on peace and security. Guyana has become a focal point for global investment driven by its significant oil reserves and growing non-oil sectors. Regarding, I'm going to skip out some of it. And it says, meanwhile, the Premier said a BVI trade team will be looking at other opportunities to partner with its Caribbean neighbors. Wheatley said a BVI team will engage officials from the Dominican Republic to begin trade talks. So maybe the Dominican Republic is next. But do you see that you really have to be something in life to be partner up with somebody?
Yeah.
So before you basically only had the mining sectors, you had gold, you had sugar, whatever. But now that you've been elected, now that you're in the who's of companies, you are allowed into the party.
I'm actually thinking about the DR part. I don't know if you guys noticed that they have a pretty big manufacturing sector, like Trinidad, with food and so on.
Yeah.
So it could be that they're looking at, because we get a lot of stuff here from the Dominican Republic, and the stuff is competitively priced, right? So it could be that they're looking at maybe,
that's
trying to mitigate cost of living concerns and so on.
Yeah, but once you come up, they're with you, because you see they're now going to the Dominican Republic to have talks, and as I said, for the BVI, this makes Ghana a key partner for collaboration and investment. Look at that.
All because of oil come up. Yeah.
Look at
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's a good move. Yeah. It's a good move. I hope that the other countries can join the list as well, and that we can integrate. So, Jamsa, we weren't too far off from our
But let me ask you a question, though. You think that people wanting to migrate is going to be less now because of the oil, necessarily?
I think so, because there are more opportunities. The oil company pays very well in Guyana. I have former colleagues that work there. So ain't nobody trying to rush off to the countries that maybe where the dollar might be higher.
Will people go back, you think?
People already
going back, yes.
I'm still about that rock, man.
I don't know.
Yes, people are going back.
Guyana up right now.
Guyana is on the up and up, as I said. They're now in the company of, as we would say,
we're going to block the road when you try to leave,
Oh?
Is it,
well, see, I have obligations, so technically I can't leave. I can only go and come back.
Good.
Yeah. But it's nice that we're in a place where we're finally garnering respect. I remember before, you'll get a visa for 6 months. If you're going to the States for 2 weeks, you get a visa for 3 months. Now you're getting a 10-year visa and a 5-year passport, because Ghana is one of those countries that still issue 5-year passports.
Oh.
Yeah.
5-year passports?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, doesn't St. Lucia do the same thing?
I don't
Give
know.
you a 5-year
thought everybody
passport?
was 10.
I'm not quite sure. I can Google it, but I think they were in the 5-year passport situation. So
A comment. Someone, one of my friends was texting and saying that Miss Henry was lying about some stuff. So hopefully, I told him to point out the lies, because remember, we're not as old as her. So some of the stuff we might not have.
I ain't going to subscribe to that. Done at that.
Okay.
So who do we have coming up tomorrow, Jamsta?
So tomorrow we have National Bank at 9 to 9:50. They're going to be talking about their Now Loans program. And we also have Cabinet Secretary Marcus Natta tomorrow.
Okay, that's dope.
He's going to be talking about the Aspire program, and that's from 9:15 to 9:30. And of course, we have our firefighter friends tomorrow.
No,
that's
don't
Friday.
push it.
Sorry. Friday.
Don't push
I have the Thursday and Friday stuff there. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for tomorrow. Yeah, and then
Jay, you coming tomorrow?
No,
I love it when the Republican is in the house. You know.
I know.
Oh man, you make it. No. We love our brother.
Yeah, I know y'all love the dog when he in the studio.
I do not know why he is comparing himself.
And when he's hangry, and he comes in with his hangry self. No breakfast and let's have it.
He's live.
Hot water.
He's live.
Okay, guys. Great show great show once again. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, and folks, don't forget you come back at 11. Well, I'm not sure. Come back at 11 for voices. Just check back at 11. We have voices coming up at 11 o'clock. So yeah, and everyone have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep, definitely.
Back on the boogie, back on